So let's talk. You know, I like to talk trauma and how the body holds on to trauma. But let's talk about the multiple different realms that the body processes trauma and how it can come through. Because it comes through emotionally, comes through in the physical realm, comes through spiritually, mentally. But very rarely do we speak about the dream realm and how dreams are very symbolic, heavily symbolic. And when you start to understand how symbolic these things are, you can break them down in a way to actually understand what's happening internally inside of you and inside your subconscious mind. Your body speaks through dreams very vividly. Ancestors can speak through dreams very vividly. And last night, let's talk about the dream that I had. I want to share this because many people may be having very similar dreams if you're someone that remembers your dreams, because everyone dreams. Sometimes we're just so clouded in the other realms of ourselves that we are not aware of what the dream was in waking state. It's like we're in a state of amnesia when we start to wake up. But dreams for me, it's a powerful space, and I remember so much. So let's go into it. I was in this dream space. It felt like it was outside, but it also felt like it was inside, which was really strange. And there were loads of people and they were getting together and everyone was happy at first, and then all of a sudden chaos started to erupt. And through that chaos erupting, men started to pull guns out and they started shooting at each other, hiding behind cars, hiding behind any obstacle they could find in order to shoot at some people over the other side. So it was like two gangs shooting each other. And I got caught up in the middle of it, which has actually happened in real life about 3 to 4 times. I know what kind of life have I lived. Growing up in the area that I grew up in, I've seen and been through a lot. And sometimes we don't realize that the body remembers all of this. But I digress, well, slightly digress. Let's go back. So I got caught in the middle of this and I was trying to figure out how to protect myself and try to find a safe space. So I found a wall in a corner and I hitched into that corner and I ended up getting into the fetal position. But fetal position, sitting on my bum and knees all the way up. And then my head was towards my knees, but it was biting on my arm. And I'm biting on my arm because I'm trying to prevent myself from screaming and crying, because I can literally feel my mouth's wide open and I'm screaming and I'm crying. Tears are streaming down my face, but I'm trying to keep quiet because I don't want anyone to find me. These people start shooting innocent people now. And I'm like, oh, okay, I need to stay protected. How am I going to do this? But everyone that was running away were women. There were no men running away. And as I was literally in fetal position, a woman's come up to me. She's literally like scooted on her bum over to me and she's grabbed my arm and she says, "Oh, are you okay? This must be bringing it all back to you, because I know you lost your brother in the same way." I literally was shook to the core of me in the dream, looked up and looked at her like, whoa, how did you know? But I'm looking at her. For some reason, I know who this woman is, but I don't know her physically with the look that she has within the dream. And then I put my head back down again and I'm biting onto my arm and I'm screaming into my arm, crying, tears rolling. I can still feel it now in my body. There's still some more that needs to be processed because I had to go to uni. I had to stop the process mid-process. Like I said, going forward now. So let's go back. So as that was happening, I saw a door appear right on the wall that we was on the corner of. People were coming out of that door, but they were dancers and they came to celebrate. And they were all walking out on stage celebrating. And I was confused. I was like, why are these people coming out and celebrating? Like, they didn't understand the chaos, what's happening. But they're celebrating and they're happy and they're dancing and they're not taking any notice of what's happening around them. Then the people that were shooting started to get awards. People were calling them on stage to give them awards. It's like, is no one seeing what they're actually causing? The havoc that they're causing everybody. Why are they getting awards? Why are they being like put up on a pedestal? What's happening here? And I'm confused in the dream because I'm like, there's no one else seeing what I'm seeing. For some reason, I don't know why I never exited that door. stage left. Interesting, because it was the left hand side. See, I'm still remembering stuff now, and still things are landing now symbolically. Like I said, dreams are heavily symbolic. So I'm still sat there, I'm still crying, and then I start to come back into this realm, and I'm mid realms. I'm in both realms at the same time, in that mid space where I'm just about waking up, but I'm still in that dream state. But I'm crying in the dream state, and now I can hear it with my ears. My actual physical ears are starting to hear the cry, the whimper, the pain coming through me. I was literally physically crying out of my mouth and whimpering out of my mouth. No tears at that moment. And woke myself up with that whimpering and woke myself up with that. And when I woke myself up, I looked around the room and I was like, whoa. Wrote down dream straight away, because that's what I like to do, because I like to keep a record of things. If you remember dreams, keep a record, because trust me, you'll see the process that starts to happen, the healing that happens, and what also helps you en route to that, what's extracted that, what's triggered that, etc, etc. Probably do another video for you on that, but anyhow, don't want to go too far off track. So when I woke up, I was just like looking around the room, wrote it all down, and then I was like, I can feel emotion though. It's really come into my physical body. And this is what I mean by dreams can really extract and pull from the actual dream state, from the subconscious mind, from the hidden shadows of inside of ourselves, and pull into this waking state, so they can actually cause transformation in order for us to process trauma. The body remembers everything. Subconscious mind remembers everything. There's a motherboard within us that literally has programs running. And even if we don't know, sometimes there's old viruses that are still there causing havoc or causing blockages that we don't even realize they're causing. These blockages can cause you not to be able to receive in certain ways, whether that is love, whether that's money, whether that's happiness, whatever that may be. It will cause a blockage for you to receive and for you to also give it to your own self. So as I'm processing that, I'm saying, okay, cool, I'm feeling emotion, I already know what to do. I do this with clients all the time. So I start to do some somatic work, I start to do some breath work, I start to move the body. And as I'm breathing and I'm moving the body, silent screams start to appear. And when I say silent screams are something that you can do when you cannot scream out loud completely. Screaming out loud completely is perfect, because it really allows the body to transform and allows the sound to come out, and sound is powerful when it comes to healing. I'll also do another video on that too. Sound's super powerful, and you're going to see so much more of this when it comes to sound in this, I don't want to say new age, in the timeline that we're on right now. Sound is going to be huge when it comes to transforming people's lives. Remember that I said this, right? So as I'm doing those movements and everything, silent scream comes out and my face is contorting. And when I say silent screams, it literally goes like, and as I did that, tears are streaming down my face. So I'm actually processing the emotion through the silent screams. This is something that I use with clients if we're not in the right location to fully scream. But when we are in the right location, then I want them to fully scream and get it out. And the tears are streaming. And the silent screams are coming involuntarily. I'm not pushing my body to do it, because you can't force the body to do something that it's not ready to do. It has to be ready to open up. If you force the guards of the body to drop, the body then does what? Reguards itself. It puts more armor up, because it wasn't ready to let it go. It wasn't ready to open up. So it locks that door. Lock and key locks the door. And this is what I found with a lot of clients, that they have so much armor and it gridlocks itself, and then it locks down in a way where now I have to help them unravel those layers. This is why I love to actually do sessions with people, physical hands-on, because I'm able to get in there. I'm able to get in there with the soul's language, with the light language, with the frequencies, with the quantum codes, with the pulling and the twisting of the body, and and enabling them to make sounds, and all of these are the things that I use, all these tools in the toolbox, so they can really get deep release. I had my event on Saturday and it was absolutely epic. I'm back in true form of holding space for other people. I had to give myself a rest from doing that because I needed me, and I'm glad that I did. I'm in the greatest place that I could ever be. So in having that event, I love holding space for others and seeing the transformation that's already happened, and it hasn't even been 48 hours yet. It's been absolutely radical. So yeah, as we go on, I'm doing the silent screams, they're coming involuntarily, body's moving in certain ways, tears are streaming, and thoughts start to come up, and I start to symbolically decode the dreams. As I'm symbolically decoding these dreams, I'm realizing that there's a part of me that almost feels guilty for surviving. Survivor's guilt. What? Survivor's guilt. Why survivor's guilt? Because I was going to go to that event where he was at, my brother. So I was going to go to the event my brother was at. This is what it was about. It was about grief to do with my brother. I was about to go to that event, and something in my soul, I was 16 when it happened, something in my soul pulled me back into the house and told me, you're not going anywhere. Do not go. Something's going to happen. And I kept feeling it so deeply in my heart, I had to say to my friend, please, let's just not go. And she listened to me. And a few hours later, when someone come in and said that someone's got shot, I thought it was my brother. The energy, there was something that I felt. And obviously, if you lost a sibling, you get it. So there was a part of me that felt like survivor's guilt, like, why couldn't he have heard the same words? Why did he go there? All these things start to flood through the mind. Because if I was there, then that would have happened to me, you know? But also, as well as that survivor's grief, there's also grief from injustice. No one's ever, ever, ever paid for his death. No one's ever been sentenced and, locked up or paid that debt. And when I say paid that debt in regards to the law and justice in that level. Maybe justice has actually raised its head on other levels that I don't even know about and I'm not even aware of. But the normal channels that justice goes through in societal ways, nobody was ever taken down for his death. So when I start to decode the dream, I start to realize that that's what was happening. Remember the people coming out on the stage and laughing and joking and people getting awards that were shooting. That's what happened. People basically idolized them. People put them on pedestals. People put them as being important because they fear them in a way. So they want to basically, they're important. And that's what I felt like happened. There was no justice for the behavior that they were dealing with and they were moving in and the energy that they were moving in. And it just felt like everything was just like a song and a dance. And that's what I was feeling internally. So it was being extracted from the subconscious mind for me to be able to process it and let it go. Let it go out of the body. Allow the body to just literally let it go. And I'm talking to you about this and it only happened last night. But I feel like I needed to have this conversation. When I know the channel's open and I know my body's ready to actually have the conversation, I will have that. So later when I go home, I'll still have some more processing to do because I had to cut it short because I had to go to uni. So I literally just got in the shower and used the shower to do the last bit that I possibly could before doing some breath work, getting dressed and getting out of the house. But I can feel it somatically in the body, even now as I'm talking. I can feel it in the chest here. Grief sits in the chest, and I was feeling the chest all day yesterday. And then I can feel some coming from the pathway of the arm. I can feel where it is. I can feel some slightly in the neck on the right. I know somatically where energy flows in the actual body itself and the pathways that it takes in order for it to release, and where it begins and where the shards of glass sit. Because that's what it feels like sometimes, like heavy shards of glass sitting in the body. I have these conversations because I know that some people may be going through things and not realizing what's happening. You may wake up feeling displaced. What happened? I don't remember my dream. Because maybe you had a deep somatic, energetic, emotional clearance inside of that dream. Maybe your subconscious mind was extracting things within that dream. Maybe you were traveling in realms of your own self. There's multiple different realms of self when you really learn how to travel internally, because nothing's external. That's a whole nother video. When you really learn how to travel internally, you realize how many different realms there actually is. And when I do work with clients, I always find their past versions of themselves that really need a hug, or really need that healing, or really been screaming loud for attention. And that's what more time comes up, because the trauma itself is never, what's the word? The trauma itself is never forgotten. It's recorded by the body, and it will press play when it's ready. And once it starts to rewind and then it presses play, most people don't know what to do. They're trying to press pause or stop. And when it's ready and it wants to press play, you've got to allow it to play out. You can't forward it. You can't pause it. You can't stop it. You've got to allow it to play out. Because once it plays out, that record that's been imprinted into your soul now can filter its way out of the body, and you can let it go, and you can breathe easier. You can receive more. Things now open up, and pathways open up internally inside of you. Remember I said everything's an inside job. So pathways start to open up internally inside of you. Mental space starts to open up. Emotional space starts to open up. Space in the heart starts to open up. All of these spaces start to open up. Spiritual space starts to open up. They're all realms of self. And when all of these different realms start to open up inside of yourself, what happens? The reflection of outside, everything that's outside of you now starts to open up. So where before you probably had that holding your heart hostage, and you couldn't actually find love. Love's always inside of you, remember? It's not external, it's inside. So once you're able to actually get that capacity inside of the heart, and the heart's able to vibrate and literally expand properly, someone else can actually come in with the same expanded space in their heart and receive you, and you can receive them, because you have the room and the capacity. So yeah, I needed to have this conversation, and I'm really glad that I did. And nothing was scripted, nothing ever is for me, because I prefer it to be straight from the heart, straight from the soul, because then you recognize yourself within that. Then you actually know that when that channel's open, I'm touching the hearts of others. I'm speaking the words that need to be spoken, and the codes that need to be accepted and received by you, the watcher right now, the listener right now. So if you are going through this and you actually do need any help at all, I do have multiple services that you can book with me. You can book one-to-ones, you can book a VIP system that we do for a month, and we go in depth. You can book into my next event, and that's if you're in the UK. If not, we can do online sessions. There's so much different things that I have and services that I offer. So if you look below, you'll be able to see the link there. And if not, and you want to just drop me a message because you're not sure of what suits you, drop me a message on Instagram or even an email, and we can talk there. I'm very passionate about the work that I do, and I'm here to transform people. It's what I do, it's what I love. I love to see people glowing, growing, flourishing, and happy. Have an amazing day, evening, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And thank you for choosing you.